Good morning, everybody. I believe we're live. It is Monday, October 18th, 2021. Today is the 2-year anniversary of Event 201. And hard to believe that for 2 years, nearly full years, we've been talking about Event 201, the coronavirus pandemic simulation that again began on the day. If you don't know what Event 201 is, again, it was a coronavirus pandemic simulation put on by the entities that declared the pandemic and are now profiting off the pandemic. It's a big coincidence, but the other big coincidence is it was done the day that the military World Games began in Wuhan, China, military World Games that are credited to the Jesuit order that began in Rome, where the Jesuits operate out of, in 95. Because again, the Jesuits were created to counter the 95 Theses written by Martin Luther, and they were recognized by Rome on the day leaving 95 days left in the year. Now today, on the 2-year anniversary of Event 201, Colin Powell's dead at 84, and would you believe that he was born on the 95th day of the year, and his middle name is Luther, like Martin Luther, not to be confused with Martin Luther King Jr., who was assassinated on the 95th day of 1968. But look at this. Look at this. Dead at 84 on the anniversary of Event 201, and of course the picture of Bush, the skull and bones president who used him like a pawn, put him in front of the United Nations to lie us into the Second Gulf War, all the lies of weapons of mass destruction. But they're saying Colin Powell today is dead from COVID-19 despite being fully vaccinated, which we'll take a look at. But I just want you to understand where Event 201 and dead at 84 come together. And again, it's in Gematria. The Jesuit order equals 201 and 84. And these are super special numbers to the Jesuit order. Their founder's name, Ignatius of Loyola, equals 201. He died in history 84 days from his birthday in 1556. The year 56 matters because Society of Jesus, their formal title, equals 56. So does coronavirus, so does COVID vaccine. Right now, we're living in the time of the first Jesuit Pope, who is 84 years old right now, Pope Francis. His birth name is Jorge Mario Bergoglio, which equals 201. He's the first Jesuit Pope and the first to live at Suite 201 in the Vatican. And again, you learn this knowledge, you see who runs the show, who's behind these agendas, who needs to be held accountable. And, I mean, it's so obvious. There's no sorrow in my body for reading about the death of Colin Powell. I mean, this man was human filth, a human scumbag. But notice, they choose a black scumbag to ritually sacrifice on the anniversary of Event 201. Look into the Tuskegee experiment. 201 people in the control group, and that's not an accident. That tells you who was behind the Tuskegee experiment. Again, the Jesuits are the divide and conquer gang. And, you know, you serve their order. This is eventually what happens to you. You end up dead by their numbers. So remember, when you write out the Catholic Church, it's 84. United States of America, 84. If you just use the alphabetic order, Jesuit alone is 84. Very special number to the Jesuits, 84, as is 201. And, I mean, this just adds to an ongoing pattern, a big one. His full name, Colin Luther Powell, has Gematria of 85, just like the Jesuit motto, Isus Hominum Salvator. And if you die at age 84, it means you died in your 85th year of life. So that fits in. And then again, his birthday is April 5th. That's the 95th day of a non-leap year. The year MLK was assassinated, Martin Luther King Jr., he was killed on April 4th, 68, which was a leap year. So it was the 95th day of that leap year. One day before Colin Powell's 31st birthday. But here's the other thing. From his April 5th birthday to October 18th, 28 weeks on the nose. They're saying he's dead from COVID. COVID 28, Pfizer 28, kill 28. All those things 28. You know, dead exactly 28 weeks after the birthday. On the nose. And Colin, also what's interesting about his name is the gematria. If you're new here, what we call the 4 base ciphers, the alphabetic order forwards and backwards with the rules of numerology. His name, Colin, is the exact same as COVID in all 4 ciphers. Identical in all 4. And all of these numbers have been used ritualistically, redundantly, over and over. Colin Powell becomes the latest. So, with regards to being the first black Secretary of State appointed by George W. Bush, the Skull and Bones member. Remember, Skull and Bones gets their symbolism from the Knights Templar, and the Jesuit logo up here has the Templar cross in it. Remember, the word Templar equals 85. So does the word Christ. The Son of God, the Jesuit logo, the sun, the Catholics worshiping on Sunday. We're on the calendar that's named after a Catholic pope. We're speaking the English language, the language of the world, which is credited to the Catholic Church. All this stuff synced up. But from Bush's July 6th birthday, remember Skull and Bones equals 76. You guys might have saw over the weekend, the Batman was announced. The Batman equals 84. But remember, in the 33rd episode of the original TV series for the Batman, they talk about how Bruce Wayne's grandfather founded Skull and Bones at Yale. They released the trailer for the new Batman movie on the day leaving 76 days left in the year. George W. Bush's birthday is July 6, 76. Skull and Bones equals 76. Daniel Coit Gilman equals 76, the Skull and Bones member that founded the Johns Hopkins University, one of the Event 201 simulators. And remember, the Johns Hopkins University equals 322, the number that Skull and Bones has on their door at Yale. But, and by the way, Daniel Coit Gilman's birthday is also July 6th. His name equals 76 like Skull and Bones, and his birthday is 7-6 like George W. Bush's. And again, from George W. Bush's birthday to today is 104 days later, like 10-4, message received, but Roman Catholic Church is 104. So I'm sure today when they talk about Colin Powell's death, the news media will definitely not bring up that it was on the anniversary of Event 201. And it just reminds me that it's been almost 2 years since I had Fox News tugging at me from behind, trying to keep me from ruining their news set because I was interrupting their COVID coverage to ask them why they wouldn't talk about Event 201. They were live in Seattle at Pike's Place Market while I was down there. And I said you guys need to talk about the real event that nobody knows about. I mean, and it's so sad to think that here we are 2 years later, and still, if you surveyed America, almost no one would know that the same companies who are profiting today simulated the pandemic that we're now living out. I mean, it's just... Hey, by the way, look at what time CNN posted their article. 8:05 a.m. You think that's a coincidence that they posted it at 8:05 for the man dead in his 85th year of life, Colin Luther Powell? I never noticed until today that his middle name was Luther. But, yeah, also, just this other headline up here, you guys. Empty store shelves spell danger for Biden, right? They're telling us it's going to be a sad Christmas. If you want to get your gifts, you better get them now because they're probably going to be sold out in the near future. Remember, this is all the work of the Society of Jesus, the Jesuit order. That's who's behind all of this. And empty store shelves for Christmas. I mean, just think about the narrative, right? But remember, all of this is tying in with Agenda 21, which was agreed to in the 90s, and all of the participating nations of Agenda 21 signed the document. If you don't know about Agenda 21, in the early 90s, the New World Order got together in South America, where the current Pope is from, where the current Superior General is from, the leader of the Jesuits. They got together and they said by the year 2021, let's come together, let's curb global consumerism, let's curb fossil fuel usage, let's get on a different path by the start of 2021. And on the surface, those things sound fine and dandy because people are over-consuming, we are way too wasteful with all sorts of resources, including what we use to create energy and electricity. I mean, no doubt about it. But the thing is, the entities that want to control these things are also the entities that have brought about these consumer habits and all this wastefulness. And it's just, the thing is, they always want to be in control. And if they create the problem, then they want to also provide the solution. That's what's wrong with these New World Order types. They just are all about control. They'll bring the destruction. They'll bring what they think are the supposed solutions. The thing is, they just need to be removed from control. They're the ones that are ruining the world. But the thing about Event 201 and Agenda 21 is the signing day for Agenda 21 was June 13th of that year, which is the day leaving 201 days left in the year. And they signed off on it in Rio de Janeiro, which also equals 201. And remember when they did this in Rio de Janeiro? What was it? Vaccine saves? Is that what it was? Yeah, it was. So this is the Christ the Redeemer statue. Remember, this is the Society of Jesus that's behind all this. They did this in the same place that they did Agenda 21. On the Christ the Redeemer statue, they put vaccine saves, right? With like a light. And vaccine saves 201. You know what I mean? The Jesuit order, the Holy Bible, Rio de Janeiro. The man who built this statue, I think it was young Ben who caught this one as well. Hader de Silva Costa, 201. Go figure, right? And again, if you are new here, the same group that did Event 201, they did another simulation called Clade X, May 15th, 2018. That was 2 years to the day of Trump declaring Operation Warp Speed. And it was exactly 666 days before the pandemic was declared. 666, biblical numbers. And May 15th can be written 15/5, like coronavirus and Christianity 155. So, Colin Powell was not a good guy. It's not a loss to the world that this man's dead. But it is another sick, twisted ritual. And again, it's not an accident that's a black man. Just like it's not an accident that the whole time it's been going on, even before the vaccines got here, you've had people on TV saying, when it comes out, if you're black, you need to get it more than anyone else. You're most at danger. It's like, okay. Yeah, and then the news media today is like saying, black people are the most hesitant to get the vaccine out of all the demographic groups in the U.S. Like, I wonder why. Half of them probably don't even know about Event 201 and the control group of 201 in the Tuskegee experiment. But if they did, then what? I think I'm going to keep this stream short and sweet, and then I'm going to start up another one here in just a minute. If you guys know Professor Dave Explains, I want to challenge him to a debate. That guy has made some videos during the time of the pandemic saying that people who are questioning the mainstream narrative are dangerous people, and it's our responsibility to go out and get vaccinated. And again, what he reminds me of is a really book smart guy with no street smarts. And there's so many people like him in this world that are just so indoctrinated. And again, he thinks that there's no conspiracy with what's going on with COVID. And it's just like, you got to be so ignorant to think that there's no conspiracy with what's going on with COVID. I mean, you got to be, it's like the guy's super brilliant, but super brain dead all in one. And there's so many people in this world like that. It's amazing. I want to debate somebody like that. He spends a lot of his time making fun of the flat earth movement, which is easy to do. And lately, he's been ending his flat earth rant videos with transitioning how these same flat earthers are against the vaccines. And then he's like saying, see, they're stupid here when it comes to flat earth, and then they're stupid here when it comes to vaccines. And what I would say back to him is I'd say, you're right about they're real stupid when it comes to flat earth. They absolutely are. They ignore all the facts and then just sit on their beliefs. And he does the same thing when it comes to the conspiracy that is COVID. And he's always using science to I've never seen him upload a video discrediting the 9/11 official story with all of his scientific knowledge, which would be another easy thing to do. So anyway, I think I'm going to do another live stream and see if I can make a debate happen with that guy, because he has several million viewers. And I know he does pay attention to when people make a video about him. So maybe, and I just imagine that he has a huge following of people that are a lot like him, intelligent people, but, all book smart, no street smarts. And these are the kind of people we got to reach. And I got to find out if it's possible to break through to them. So, yeah. But here's more proof of how well the vaccine works, too. Colin Powell, fully vaccinated, dead from COVID-19 by the numbers. You know what I mean? Here, let me read the article before we go out. Colin Powell, the first black U.S. Secretary of State whose leadership in several Republican administrations helped shape American foreign policy in the last 20 years of the 20th century and early of the 21st, has died from complications from COVID-19, his family said on Facebook. Isn't it funny how they just even have to mention that like it's an advertisement? And we know who runs Facebook. Again, Facebook's Jesuit cabal. If you haven't read my book, Number Games 9/11 to Coronavirus, again, I show you just how Jesuit Facebook is. With regards to 84, what year was Mark Zuckerberg born, right? That infamous year, the Orwellian year, 1984. And again, Mark Zuckerberg, who has the same birthday as Israel. Mark Zuckerberg's got the 84 in his name as well. General Colin L. Powell, former U.S. Secretary of State and chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, passed away this morning due to complications from COVID-19, the Powell family wrote on Facebook. We have lost a remarkable and loving husband, father, grandfather, and a great American, they said, noting he was fully vaccinated. Powell was a distinguished and trailblazing professional soldier whose career took him from combat duty in Vietnam. Hey, you want another 84? Vietnam. Again, another major needless Jesuit ritual. Remember, the Jesuits consider themselves a military order. That's why they got the Templar cross in their logo. His combat duty in Vietnam to becoming the first black national security advisor during the end of Ronald Reagan's presidency. Hey, there's another 84, right? Ronald Reagan reelected in 84. Man who died in a big Jesuit ritual on June 5th. Same day RFK was shot in a big Jesuit ritual. Funny, same numbers all throughout history. Ronald Reagan's presidency and the youngest and first African-American chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under President George H.W. Bush. His national popularity soared in the aftermath of the U.S.-led coalition victory during the Gulf War, and for a time in the mid-90s, he was considered a leading contender to become the first black president of the United States. Something tells me 95. I got to go back and look at what was going on with Colin Powell in 95. But his reputation could be forever stained when, as George W. Bush's first Secretary of State, he pushed faulty intelligence before the United Nations to advocate for the Iraq War, which he would later call a blot on his record. Do you think it was really him at the end of the day? Or do you think it was him following orders like the military man he was? But still, just the fact that he was willing to do it. Like, I got to be honest, you guys. Like, if I was taken in a room and if I was part of this cabal and they said, you're going to do this or you're going to die and your family's going to die, I'd probably just let myself and my family die, honestly, rather than lead a whole nation into a needless war so that a bunch of 18-year-olds can die and who knows how many people in the nations we're invading, right? I mean, it would be sad to let you and your family die, but I'm not going to go lie a nation into war. Think about how evil that is. I'm sure that's what's done to these people, though. I'm sure it's very much like that. Do this or else. Keep in mind, April 5th, I mean, notorious date in history. Date can be written 5/4 like Jesuit Order 54. John Carroll 54, who established the first Jesuit university. How many musicians dead in the Jesuit city of Seattle on April 5th? From Lane Staley to Kurt Cobain, there's been even more. Just forgot, last year, 2020, a musician died on April 5th. There's a rapper who's not nearly as famous from Seattle who died on that day. People just keep dying on the same days in Seattle in the music business. Again, it's Jesuits, you guys. The Jesuits are evil. They are killers. They've been warned about for centuries. And What we brought to the table was figuring out their numerical code, how they got the calendar and the language all synced up, and they just put it in your face every day when you know it. So it's amazing how they'll probably, the first comment left in the videos, I would probably be like, what's the point of knowing this? And it's just like, didn't I make that abundantly clear in the video? Hey, go talk to the people who made thousands of dollars this weekend taking advantage of the rigged NFL run by the same Jesuits and rigged college football run by the same Jesuits. Again, dominated college and NFL again this week. Do it almost every week. Games are rigged the same way the sports cars are. And by the way, did you hear about Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers is getting a lot of attention for what he said yesterday at the Chicago Bears game about how he owns the Bears. Again, we knew it was Rodgers all day yesterday. Yesterday was the 201st game between the Bears and the Packers in the regular season. And Aaron Rodgers, one of the Jesuit Golden Boys. I got dyslexic. Aaron Charles Rodgers is his full name. Look it up if you doubt it. That's Aaron Rodgers' full name, 201. In the 201st regular season game between the Bears and Chicago, Rodgers says he owns the fucking Bears. And that made all the headlines from CNN to Fox News. But, just like last week, we said Rodgers would win the game and go into Chicago on 46 away losses. Yesterday, we said he would leave Chicago on 46 away losses for his career because Chicago loves 46. Revolutionary 4-6 defense was the year they won their first Super Bowl. First and only Super Bowl. They won it with the 4-6 defense, and they won with a score of 46-10. Hey, add up that score. Tell me about it. 56 points, right? Society of Jesus. But, yeah, you guys, from the sports games to the news stories, it's the same shit, controlled by the same people every single day. And again, science. If your theory's correct, you should be able to prove that your theory's correct by testing it, which we've been doing for 8 years, and proving it works and works and works. And still dummies are coming here being like, what's the point of knowing this? It's just like, man, well, if you have to ask that question, I mean, it's sad. It's obvious what the point of this is. This is the knowledge to expose who's responsible and who needs to be stopped. Just these lemmings, they don't have an IQ point in their brain. They can't put 2 and 2 together. But yeah, look at it. Colin Powell dead at 84. It's not just Colin Powell dead, right? It's Colin Powell dead at 84. And people just don't understand the meaning of that number, or why George Orwell chose the year 1984 for the book title. Again, member of the Fabian Society, established in 1884. But yeah, I think we'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. And I'll be back very soon because I'm going to do another live stream challenging Dave Explains to a debate to see if we can make it happen. He'll go after flat earthers all day. That's an easy debate to win. I mean, honestly, as an intelligent man debating a flat earther, it's like debating a baby that doesn't even know how to speak yet. And I know that's going to hurt flat earthers' feelings, but that's really what it's like. I mean, it's just so easy because flat earthers don't have any facts to back up anything they believe in. They just have this belief system that they believe in because they've just decided to reject everything that they ever learned because they realize they've been lied to in a lot of regards, but they're just going to hang on to Jesus and believe that the earth is flat. So that's what Dave likes to go after, but Dave's doing exactly what I knew people would start doing, and like what I explained in 2015. I said they've brought this flat earth thing here to discredit this entire truth community, and now you see guys like Dave making his videos going after flat earthers and then transitioning into the video about how these same idiots are very dangerous because they're questioning the vaccines, which people need to be getting to stop this pandemic. And again, that's exactly, you guys, that's the only reason that this flat earth psyop was brought to this community, was to discredit us and make it so that people can do exactly what he's doing. So, anyway, we'll leave it there, you guys, and until next time.